What's going on, guys? Welcome to November's episode of Plus Club, the show where we play the games offered on PlayStation Plus. Throughout the month, we play them. At the end of the month, we talk about them. My name's Seth.
I'm Chevy.
And I'm Chris.
Quick reminders that our vote for Game of the Month has discontinued. It's over. So I want to thank everybody who voted for whatever game you voted for. And tomorrow or Sunday, one of the days, what's tomorrow? Saturday.
Soon.
This weekend, we're going to be doing Game of the Month, and we're going to reveal what the Game of the Month for December is. But you can still play Lost Planet 2. We're going to be talking about that, so make sure to do that as well. And we're moving into a new month. So we got Titanfall 2 and Monster Energy Supercross for December. So make sure to download those and play those on PlayStation Plus throughout the month. And yeah, we got Discord. Link down below. You can talk to us anytime, all the time. We're on iTunes, Spotify, and other podcast platforms if you prefer to listen to us. We're doing Plus Club. We played throughout this month, or some of the month, because Death Stranding came out, or somebody was streaming one game all month. Nioh and Outlast 2 were our games for November. So yeah, we'll talk about that. I'm going so fast that I forgot to ask, what do you guys think about Titanfall 2 and Monster Energy Supercross? I'm going to have problems all month saying Monster Energy Supercross, because every time I say Monster, I'm like instinctually ready to say Hunter.
For sure.
What do you guys think about those games?
I already own Titanfall 2.
Me too.
So I actually, it'll be a good time to play just because with it being, free, the servers will be more populated. So it'll be a good time to play it. And then
Or play the single player. You never played it.
I did not beat it, no.
It's actually good. You can beat it. Time to beat it.
And then the other game, I'm sure it'll be fun for a little bit. I can't imagine it's going to be that deep, so it'll be
Gonna be deep in the ground when you fucking crash.
probably.
I'm stoked because Titanfall 2, I love. Titanfall 1 was great too. I already said, own Titanfall 2, play the shit out of it. Played online a lot, played the single player, really like the single player, so I guess I'm kind of revealing my cards here. But it'll be fun to revisit it. It'll be fun to do some multiplayer, online stuff. And yeah, it's kind of cool too that they're releasing that now because Respawn just put out, as we call it in the Discord link down below, Jedio, Fallen Order. That's what it's called.
Sure.
Respawn just put that out, and people have been loving it, and they've been doing a great job. So it's kind of cool to maybe show some people, the game I think that they've released that didn't get as much love as it really deserved. Because
Yeah, I agree with that.
Titanfall was really good, but Titanfall 2 was like way better, and they haven't really built a name for that game that's like as known as it should be. And I feel like Titanfall 2 was a really good attempt at that. Hopefully everybody downloads and plays it.
Well,
and tries it out.
They took all that and made Apex Legends. So, I mean,
which is the best battle royale game in my opinion. So
I
it
don't know.
plays a lot like Titanfall 2 outside of the wall running and shit. So in Max.
Yeah, you're not a Titan.
Yeah, but it's really cool.
yeah.
Yeah, they are the same universe, so which is pretty cool.
Or pilot,
and then
sorry.
and then Monster. I almost did it again. Energy Supercross. Holy fuck. I don't play games like that ever. I used to play them back in the day, and I used to like them. So it'll be fun. This is a game I would never buy. So
For sure.
unless like a bunch of people are like, dude, you really got to try this game, which will never happen.
That's the beauty of Plus, though.
Yeah, for sure.
Get you out of your comfort zone. So
That's like with the game of the month thing. Everybody's like, fishing game, haha. And I was like,
yeah, okay.
I'd try it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of the point.
The only person
Like,
who would be unhappy about it's Chris.
Chris hates him some fishing.
I love fishing, so.
But yeah, I'm actually looking forward to this upcoming month with the games. I mean, Titanfall 2, I probably won't play as much as the other games just because I've played the fuck out of it, but I will revisit it for sure. And I hope Monster Energy Supercross is cool.
Yeah.
Chris.
I am excited to play Titanfall 2 with everybody. I didn't get too much into it, but it always was an intriguing game to me. As far as the Monster Hunter Biker Cross Moto game,
Yes.
I've never been a
That's
big
the
fan
better
of-
name for it, Monster Hunter Cross Moto game.
I've never been a big fan of those kind of like racing bike games, especially ones that have like the name of like a sponsor in the title. They always seem really cheesy to me.
Oh, 100%. But that's getting to a whole other thing of like, I got a pet peeve with branding. Like if I see like a shirt and it just has a big logo of that company that made the shirt, and you buy that, I'm like, you just bought a billboard for them.
Yeah.
That's all you did.
Yeah.
And within their circle,
I
they all
don't
think
like
it's cool.
I don't like billboards either.
But that's a good one though. That's a good billboard. Everybody should have a billboard that says Tasty Loot Gaming on it. But so I get the sentiment on why people do it and people buy it. I own some stuff that says Adidas because there's some brands I'm like, yeah, I can wear that. But like, yeah. So if a game has just like fucking Monster Energy Supercross, there's more of a advertisement in that title than what the game is, which is fucking wild. So
they always make me think of those old Burger King games back in the day for the Xbox 360.
Sneak King,
Like,
dog.
Like, they were enjoyable for a little while, but they were just cheesy as all hell.
Was it Sneak King? Didn't people like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, it's fun. It's hella fun.
They were cheesy as fuck games. That was just an advertising ploy though. Like, look
100%.
at these shit games we made. Because it is kind of crazy that they even had someone make these shitty little indie games.
I think I
for
have
them.
Xbox achievement for some like Toyota Prius game too. You just drive down a tunnel and collect things in a Prius. I was
dumb.
like,
I hate that.
This was free for a reason. Okay.
Where's the Cyber? This isn't Tasty Cast. What do you guys think about the Cybertruck? Tesla Cybertruck.
I like it.
Have you seen it, Chris?
I have.
Okay.
I have. I've posted memes about it.
Uh-oh. What, is that good or
I don't know.
bad?
It's very Blade Runner to me. I love it.
I like
yeah.
it. I like it.
It's intriguing because I like the concept of like futuristic cars, things like that. But it definitely looks like a low poly count car from like, oh god, what was that car game with the evil clown in it?
Twisted Metal.
Twisted Metal. It's like
Yeah.
Twisted Metal 2 graphics.
I don't know. Elon Musk even said that they drew inspiration from things like the Warthog from Halo and stuff.
It is it almost is borderline fucking a warthog.
Yeah.
If you painted it
Yeah.
green and put the back end more like a truck and less angular, it would look like a fucking warthog
all
without,
the
without a
modular
gun.
shit on it too is fucking dope, man. Like the one
only-
picture I saw where it pulled out and it was a fucking barbecue. I was like, that's amazing.
The only thing I don't like about it, that's the thing about Elon Musk, man, is he's got an imagination and he's not afraid to have what, our generation and younger generations would think of as like fun with something like that. I mean, he's a billionaire
Did you
who's
see the
willing to.
inside? It looks like a fucking movie theater.
That's
almost.
what I was gonna say. Though the only thing about the whole fucking truck that I don't like, the only thing is it has like this like porcelain fucking countertop.
Yeah.
It looks like someone's grandma's fucking kitchen.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's just flat and square. I'm like, yeah, I don't know about that, but everything else is fucking cool. I like it. It's weird. It's that's the thing too. A lot of people keep talking about is sorry, anybody who's here for Plus Club. Fucking if you look at the truck market, I saw a picture recently that showed all the trucks that exist that of that year, make and model or whatever, and they all look the same. Mm-hmm. And so they're bringing out this electric powered truck. They gotta look different,
sure.
and it looks way different than anything that's
They'll
on the
spot it a
fucking
mile
market.
away, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh,
You're gonna look at that
yeah.
on the road and be like, "Oh shit, that's the Cybertruck." People do it with the Tesla model, whatever the fuck.
They did that with that fucking cube thing.
Yeah.
Scion.
Oh,
Well, there is a car that's called like the Cube.
Oh, the one with the what was it, the wraparound?
I think so.
Window.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Those things are stupid. I hate them.
Well, they stick out though.
Those look like
so-
someone's house or something. They're just
the
driving
sugar
around.
cube on wheels.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyways,
But yeah, and then there's that video where they were pulling a Ford whatever. The
Yeah,
fuck.
F-150.
They
the Ford
showed
F-150.
pulling that, and it's crazy when you go in the comments on Twitter. There's all these Ford people going like, "Fuck that thing! That would never pull a Raptor," which I guess is a type of Ford. If anyone knows or cares,
Yeah.
we're gamers. But then the VP of Ford is like, "Hey, we'd love you to send a Cybertruck over so we can do a real test." Elon, and he's like, "Okay, yeah, that's fine." and people in the comments are like, "He's never gonna answer," and people are like screenshotting like he did answer. Look, he said okay. And it's like the people are so like, "Oh god, fuck the Cybertruck," be like, "Yeah, fucking Tesla, baby," and I'm like, dude, come on. It's neat. It's neat. I think it's cool.
It's super neat.
That guy's gonna be flying shit to fucking Mars. Okay, so let's just stop. There's no rivalry here, right? It's just someone trying to break into the market.
we're gonna have to
It's neat.
timestamp this fucker.
Anyway, let's get into Plus Club.
Yeah.
This month, November, we played Nioh and Outlast 2. We should probably talk about Outlast 2 first.
Probably.
Both of them,
Yeah.
like, I pretty much got about the same say about. So, if you didn't get a chance to play Outlast 2, it is the sequel to Outlast 1. That seems unrelated. I never beat it. I'm revealing a bit already, but But I did beat Outlast 1. But yeah, in Outlast 2, you play as a dude who is the cameraman of his wife, who is like a reporter type chick, where you're going to investigate a pregnant girl who's found dead out in the desert. You go out there, some shit happens to your helicopter, and you are looking for your wife, who is not there when you wake up, as these things always happen in horror things.
Yeah.
It is
Becoming the staple.
first person, walk from here to there. You cannot fight back. You'll get murdered if you fuck around for too long. So you hide a lot game. It's very dark, full of jump scares, full of some other scares as well, especially if you're not into gore
Imagery,
or imagery. That's a good way to put it. And yeah, it deals with some pretty dark themes. We all played it this month. I've played it in the past.
I did not play it.
Yes, Chevy
I watched
Chevy
your
watched.
gameplay.
Yeah. Because Chevy does not enjoy himself some high adrenaline gameplay.
Or real life play.
Chris doesn't either, but Chris suffered through it. He was hitting me up as he was playing it, going like, "I hate this, I hate this." He's like, "I'm going back in." I was reading him like, "Oh, poor Chris." Me, I'm just like walking through and fucking. There's like, I'm like, fuck. Someone else like, I'm like, yeah, it's stupid. And I just keep fucking walking. And some old guy goes, "Meow," and goes, stabs me in the chest. I'm like, fuck. And I just restart. And I'm like, I'm gonna avoid you. He's just staring at me again. And I'm like, I know what you're capable of doing. I'm just gonna go around. I didn't know that at first. Yeah. So let's start with Chris, and I promise we won't start with Chris on the next game.
Well, usually scary games aren't like my super go-to, and I can play them and enjoy them usually. Not to say that I didn't enjoy this game, but this game ramped up my anxiety to a level that I was like having to stop consistently to calm myself down.
Damn.
This really tapped into like a weird like phobia I have of being like somewhere where it's really dark in an unknown area that I can't see it at all. And it just really like got me worked up, which is like, I guess a benefit to the game, because that's kind of what it wants to do. It really wants to get you pumped up and going. But just thinking about it now, it's giving me just...
That game and its design, just like the first Outlast, is, regardless of if you like the scares or not, it's trying to keep you in a constant state of stress. Not in the way I prefer in horror games, where it's the underlying aspects of horror that make you go, I don't want to go any further. But this game is like constantly dark, constantly popping things out at you, constantly letting you know that things are going to kill you, that you're going to fall and die somewhere, all this shit. And that, if you look in a well, tentacles are going to come fucking flying out and grab a body, or when you're walking through a fucking school because you're going crazy, some random hands are going to come out of the ceiling and grab shit. And like, so it's constantly... One thing I'll give them is, for this company, I'm assuming not being a AAA company, I'm sure they're pretty small, they are very ambitious in what they are willing to do development-wise, because constantly there's these things happening that I was like, I wasn't expecting that. But it does absolutely, you can tell when they're making the game, they're like, we want this game to scare the fuck out of people. And so, and even more so than the last game, because I did beat the first Outlast game. And this one is just constantly trying to freak you out. It almost doesn't. This game feels like a roller coaster to me, or some kind of ride. So when you're saying it was like stressing you out, they're definitely, like any horror game's trying to scare you, but a lot of times there's like space in between the scares, or an underlying thing there that makes you go, ooh, I don't want to walk any. I don't want to go any farther forward. But in this, it's just like, fucking try walking forward. We're gonna fucking kill you.
It's such a well done combination of like a lack of visual stimuli and amazing sound stimulus that really gets me going. Like,
it's funny when Chris, sorry to interrupt, but when Chris hit me up, he's like, I hate that this game has like no vision or something like that, or low vision or something like that. And when I read that, my fucking dumbass, the way I think about stuff, I was like, what, it has like no creative vision? Like, it's not artistically that great. You could probably get more out of something than this. But I was like, wait, he's talking about visual, like
can't
actual.
see,
You
yeah.
can't see shit. Okay, my bad.
I even turned up the gamma like a little bit above halfway. I was like, okay, I'm gonna cheese this a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I put on the easiest mode. I was like, no, I can't fucking do. Even then, it was pitch fucking black when you don't have the camera on. Like,
The thing about that too is that comes down to the developer of the game and how much work they put into the actual lighting in the game or how dark they make it. Because when you turn gamma up too high, it starts whiting out blacks. So you're not necessarily brightening the game. You're just brightening the blacks, and now you just have a brighter black you're looking at. And in that game, the shadowing, the lighting is dark. So if you turn the gamma up, I checked in the beginning to see what it looked like because I normally turn my gamma down. I want it to be like fucking scary dark, and I turned it up, and like it just got brighter, but I still couldn't see the guy in the doorway. And I was like, ugh, okay. It's like turn the brightness up on your TV essentially. So
yeah, it really does convey that sense of lack of senses really well to me. That I was crawling through everything.
yeah, this second time around when I was playing, I was just fucking trudging through that bitch. I was just walking through the cornfield like, get out of my way.
It'll be up above.
Oh yeah. Just watch that. That's me playing, because I'd played it before, like I've already said. Anything else?
Nah, not at the moment. No.
All right, I'll just hop in because I keep talking about my own experience. So I played when it came out. If anyone even cares to know, I have another YouTube channel called Sleep Division where I've put a lot of personal random things up there. You can subscribe and watch all that random shit if you want. I still post stuff on there, but there's no theme to the channel. But anyway, there's a video I did a while back for the first Outlast. I thought that game was so ridiculous in what it was trying to do horror-wise that I made fun of it. I made a whole video just making fun of that game. Not to say that it's bad. I actually was really impressed with the amount of work they put into that game. Just the scare factor was really lame to me. I thought it was just full of jump scares and just had no like, there's no like real good like feeling of horror in it. It was just like you're in a psych ward and people are fucking crazy and that's scary. And I was like, yeah, whatever. So I made fun of it and made the video years ago. And then people were like, you got to make a sequel to this. And I was like, you're right. And I never did it. But I bought Outlast 2 with the intention. I bought it for the intention to make a sequel to that video. That's why I own it. So anyway, played it then. Thought it was pretty cool. It's completely different than the first Outlast, which I thought was really bold of them. They could have just went to another building and did the same kind of thing. The only things that kind of keep this game similar to Outlast is the idea of you can't fight back, which I fucking hate. And you can press a button to look behind you because the game is all about being chased. Just like in Outlast 1, Outlast 2 is all about somebody's after you. They want to recreate that slasher movie running through the woods while someone's after you feeling, and they do it really well. But that's literally the whole game.
Yeah.
That's the gameplay. You hide in barrels. You hide under fucking beds. You hide in corn. You're in a lot of corn. You're out in the desert, but there's all these cornfields. You hide and you hope that the pretty meh AI forgets to check where you are. Because a lot of times they're very thorough and they check everything. And you're just waiting while they're just coming down to check you. And I'm like, come on. Just like in Outlast 1.
Look for the devil daddy.
They're looking for the devil daddy for sure. But yeah, I mean, it's just like in Outlast 1. You hide in a locker, and then you just hear the guy going through every locker, and you're like, you just gotta fucking find me. What the? And that's, if I was a fucking psycho killer, I'd do the exact same thing. I go in a room and be like, I'm checking every fucking door in here, so if you're hiding in here, you better come out right now. No? Okay. There you are. So that's what they do. So I guess the AI is smart, but it's just like as a gameplay thing, kind of lame. But yeah, so it's very similar to the first one in that sense, gameplay wise. But the setting's completely different. The story is different. I did not beat Outlast 2. I beat 1. I know that the end of Outlast 1 gets really paranormal and is actually kind of neat. I like the story of Outlast. I just didn't like the gameplay. But yeah, so this one feels so different than the first one. I think it's really bold, and it feels like a sequel. It feels bigger. It feels better in a lot of ways. The story feels more ambitious. But I get hung up on the lack of gameplay, in my opinion. It reminds me a lot of Everyone's Gone to the Rapture or like Dear Esther or any of those walking narrative games, but that this time it's trying to scare you while you're doing that. And every once in a while, pretending that there's choices to be made in how you get chased. Which, in these kind of games, I don't really just run in a circle. I don't know. It could be like a big circle running around many buildings or a small circle running around a table until I evade the enemy and then I move on with my life. And that's what I did in Outlast 1. I did it in Outlast 2. But this time around, this game, I looked up, it's like 10 hours long. It's like a 10-hour long game, which is short for a game, but for a game like this, that's pretty fucking long. Especially when you're just doing a lot of walking and looking behind you and walking and looking behind you and hiding under bed and looking behind you and walking. I played about 2-3 hours into it, and I was like, I got it. I got Death Stranding to play. So I didn't beat it. But I would like to finish it at some point because I'd like to know. The story is really creepy and dark and like way more intense than I remember the first game story being. I mean, the whole time you're like, your wife is, you got all these people, this cult saying that she's got the devil's fucking baby in her, and she's just like, something happened to her while she's kidnapped. And I'm like, this is really dark. This is creepy shit. Makes you feel icky when you're playing it. And then you got this other group of people trying to get that baby because they seem to be working for the fucking devil or something.
It's their deity. They believe,
Yeah, it's really creepy. So you got these two opposing sides, which I think is a really neat idea, especially in a horror game. Because normally there's just the bad guy and that's it. But you got two different sides going like, we need to kill you. No, we need to keep you around. And the other people are like, you're not important. I mean, you're devil daddy, but we weren't going to kill you anyway. There's a lot of really cool set pieces. That's one thing I think this game does really well is there's a lot of ambitious set pieces and they're not afraid to do what they think of. They're like, oh, it'd be cool if this thing happened, and they do it. You don't see that with a lot of indie developers. That's one thing that makes Outlast and Outlast 2 stand out when it comes to horror games, and I really love that. So yeah, I mean, altogether, I didn't beat it out of lack of interest with the gameplay, but I think it's really weird. I like everything about Outlast and Outlast 2, and I know I'm only talking about Outlast 2 here, but it's really what this company does. I love everything about these games except for I don't like playing them. And one of the biggest reasons I don't like playing them, and I already kind of talked about it a bit, but I literally called Outlast 1 Condemned, but you can't fight back. There's a game back in the day called Condemned, Criminal Origins or something like that. And I believe it was made by the same guys who made Fear. And it's this detective game where the horror is there's like these like fucking like crackheads and criminals and shit. They're going to attack you. And they had really smart like AI. They'd like peek around corners and try and flank you and throw bricks at you and stuff. And you could like pick up pipes and hit them and shit. It had a really cool combat system. And I don't necessarily want this game to have that, but this game reminds me a lot of Condemned in the way it looks and plays. And I think it'd be neat if there's some situations where you could try and defend yourself against at least humanoid characters.
You can throw chairs and tables and stuff.
Something like even when you're running and you're looking back, it'd be cool if you could throw stuff at people to slow them down, stuff like that. Give you something to do, because I get really bored. Since I'm not getting scared from this game, I get really bored in these situations I'm expected to just run because I know this is all that's going to happen here. I like the story and the visuals of the game, but the gameplay, like, you know, there's just nothing for me to do there, and the scares aren't enough for me because I do feel like I'm just, you get your ticket and you go through the fucking ride, and then well, that's a bad analogy just because one reason I hate fucking jump scares and games that rely so hard on jump scares is because they're cheap thrills. The reason they're cheap thrills is because they happen once and it's been done. Now you know it's going to happen. It's not going to be scary again unless you're not paying attention. If you build an atmosphere,
or if they're randomly generated or something.
Sure, but that's like, that doesn't happen.
Right.
So like, you know, if you have something a little more dynamic or an atmosphere that's just unwelcoming, something you don't like being in, and something can happen at any time, like when you're playing Resident Evil 2 Remake, the zombies are just wandering around. And if you play the situation differently, that guy might have wandered off into a dark corner. You don't know where the fuck he's at now. Like, so now you're going to creep through, like, where'd he go? That shit's scary. Because when you replay, you're not going to have that exact same experience. Or even Silent Hill. Silent Hill had a whole atmosphere in this old ass game, but that was just like, you can't see that far ahead of you. You got that fucking radio that makes noise when you're getting close to stuff. Sometimes you might see something, sometimes you might not, but you're always on edge because you're like, I don't know where the fuck shit is at. I'm just trying to find my goddamn daughter. And you know, that kind of stuff is way more scary to me than like the dark game where you walk down the hallway and shit's gonna pop out at you. It's cool when it happens, but when you're done with it, it's over, and that kind of sucks. So I'd like to see a game like this, you know, add some kind of way of adding more gameplay to it. Maybe they'll do it with Outlast 3, which I would absolutely buy and play. And add some more dynamic horror to the game. Although I do appreciate also that like some of the NPC characters you run into, they're all like, yeah, I don't want to get near you. Some of them will just be like, get out of here, go, get, shoo. And then other ones will go and just stab you and kill you, or they'll start screaming, "He's over here!" And then some guys show up, that is the dynamic aspect. But I think it's more funny. I like laugh when this shit happens. There's also a time too where I was running and I got near a guy and he fucking grabbed me, pulled me to the ground, and as he's pulling me to the ground, a second guy showed up in the animation and grabbed me. They both held me down. They stabbed me like right through the face, and I was like, that was pretty crazy. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
So, I think they put more work into things being dynamic when it came to those characters, but everything else, the big sickle chick who's fucking creepy as hell, didn't do much for me outside of I look at her, I'm like, ugh. But every time you run into her, it's the same thing. Evade her. Okay, yeah. I'll run in circles until she stops. So yeah, overall, like everything about it, I just don't like playing it, which sucks to say. So. Chevy.
I'll say I'm probably gonna have a very similar outlook because I also don't like playing it and I haven't played it. From what I've gathered from watching the gameplay, it is a very good looking game.
It is good looking. Yeah.
Is done, I think, very well. The the imagery in general is gross, but it's supposed to be, and I appreciate that because some people are afraid to kind of go that far. There's some scenes in there where I was a little surprised to see it in a game. The sound effects, music, all that stuff. I mean, everything about it seems like it was very well made. Even the story, the little bit I got to see, seemed interesting enough. Though in these type of games, it's told in sections, so you have to kind of get to story piece by story piece. Mm-hmm. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's a game I can't play, so that makes it really difficult for me to have too much appreciation for it. But I could sit down and watch it play through because there's enough interest there for me to see more of the story. I did like there towards the beginning where like your wife's like freaking out and like we gotta get out of here, and you're trying to talk to her. She's like, not now, we just gotta leave. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, this is a neat little like cinematic moment.
The voice acting's done really well too. Like every character had really good voice acting.
Well, and then it's a really good way to introduce the two different cults too, mm-hmm. that come up in that scene. And so I mean, I had a lot of appreciation for what they've done there, but watching your gameplay, to reemphasize that again, I did notice that you don't do anything, but occasionally like open
Especially
a door.
Me.
You occasionally open a door or pull a switch or something like that, and you're just moving and hiding the whole time. And I can't imagine too many games where I would play that and be like, oh, I'm having fun. Like,
I think if you're playing it, you're capable of playing it, but the game also freaks you out. It's probably more fun because you're probably more in your mind going like, I need to hide here. I need to be cautious around this corner. Right. Oh, I see someone. I'm going to get in this barrel and make sure.
Instead of brute forcing it the way
Whereas me, I know what the NPCs are going to do and how they act. So I'm just like, okay, fucking come after him. It's going to outrun you. Like, oh, man, I'm getting tired. I'm going to sit still for a second. So if I need to outrun someone, I have a full fucking battery of energy running because I'm a Tesla Cybertruck.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, my opinion is going to be a lot shorter just because I didn't have the personal experience in it. So just to reemphasize, I appreciate all that I saw about it, but it didn't look like it was fun to play, and it's not something I can play, which kind of puts it way low for me.
As someone who did play the game and would play a game like this typically, I would, and this is a rare thing for me to say, I'd rather watch this game as a movie than play it. Just because
it presents itself as such almost.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's what I'm saying, man. Yeah. It's like it's so close to like a game like Everyone's Gone to the Rapture, where you're just walking and a story's happening. Mm-hmm. Outside of it, it's going boo, boo, boo,
for sure,
hide, boo.
But yeah. And that's pretty much all I have to say about it. I don't have any stories or anything. So, I mean, it's good looking. The sound's good and unplayable for me. So,
and almost unplayable for me, which is the same problem. Man, just every once in a while, let me grab like a 2x4. And when I swing it, it breaks and I have to get rid of it. So, like, you rarely find them. But every once in a while, it's that one moment where, boom, you get to hit a guy and run. And I think I would enjoy it just a little bit more.
Oh, you know what? Too,
a screwdriver, fucking. One time they grab you.
Going off of that though, if it did kind of like follow like how you would expect like a person to be, like maybe you turn around and look behind you, but then like throws your balance off, you start stumbling or tripping or something like that when you do that, or throwing things behind you to slow them down. people would do like whatever they could, you know, to kind of. You don't need a gun, you don't need a knife or something like that in the game, but you know, being able to just throw objects behind you, perhaps like fumble through it, like maybe if you had a tension meter and you went to like pick up a chair and you're like your character's so freaked out he was like just fumbling even doing that. I mean, that would add tension to the game. So
add a system where terrain has 3 colors: green, yellow, and red, and those
Jesus.
different terrains will make you trip, lose balance, or maybe even fall and fucking crash, and then you can hit a button and scan the terrain as you're carrying packages.
I get where they're coming from with like the not being able to interact like with the enemies, like the sense of helplessness that they're trying to convey, but it seems like it's gone overboard because you literally cannot interact with hardly anything.
I say even a helpless person would attempt in some way to fight back. So
that's the thing, is like they're going for, you're an average person, you don't have military training, all that shit, which other games have tried. I forgot what game it was, but Silent Hill. Silent Hill did it. You're a normal guy with a gun, so your aim's not the best in the world. So other people have done it and done it better. And so I get that idea that you're just an average person. You're not like some badass or whatever. But they're really throwing out, if they're going for realism and they want to go for you're someone who's helpless, one thing that people do in situations that are life-threatening is they'll freeze up. So if they want to go realistic, your character's going to go, I don't know what to do. And then someone's going to kill them, and there's going to be a victim, and that'd be the game. Or, you know, that's the opposite of what they think, you know, they're trying to be away from, is the guy with the fucking gun who's ready to fight and shit. But people don't, well, not people, I'm not going to talk generally like that, but the thing that they're missing is people in situations like this act irrationally.
Yeah.
People in situations where I think they're going to die go fucking nuts. They do crazy shit. So if they want to get realistic, your person start fucking freaking out and screaming and clawing at people and like fucking kicking everywhere and like some really crazy brutal shit that I'm really not trying to make a joke about, but like people do really fucking insane things when they're in danger. So like this narrative of like, oh, you're just a helpless person, I get where they're coming from. At least add some nuance to that a bit,
sure.
Because it really just seems like an excuse to go, we don't have to make a whole lot of gameplay in this regard. But I don't think that's the case either, because they put a lot of work into this fucking game. So
yeah, it doesn't feel lazy.
I think it's just their philosophy of what is scary to them.
For sure.
But I still think you can have all the same scares, everything, if like every once in a while you got to pick up something and swing it.
Or throw it or whatever.
And not beat the fuck out of people, but just stop them from getting you
You
in
don't
that
even
one
have
moment.
to be able to kill them. Just slow them
That's
down.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like fucking some guy goes to attack you and you now you picked up an item that allows you to, just as a gameplay mechanic, get away from them. So they grab you and hit the button.
Think twice about chasing you.
Yeah.
Kind of like the knife in Last of Us.
All right.
So.
Yeah, the shiv.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. Just something like that. And that would give you an extra thing to do in gameplay. So
It'd mix it up for sure.
yeah. So if they do, and if they make a third one and they hear that kind of feedback, I don't want them to feel pressured where they got to make it actiony either, but just meet me halfway. Just find some kind of, just give me an extra thing to do.
If they got their diehard audience and they just want to keep doing the way they're doing, I'm good for them.
People
too,
like
so,
Outlast.
for sure.
They really loved Outlast 1, and I see all the reasons why they love it.
Yeah,
and one thing I love
don't
about
alienate those guys.
One thing I really fucking love about the guys, girls, whoever, who make Outlast 1 and 2 is they don't pull any punches. There's nudity, there's sexual stuff, there's gore.
Yeah,
like they really want you to feel uneasy about this game, and that takes some fucking balls.
Well, and that's what I was saying earlier when the imagery is surprising at times. So
Yeah, there's straight up some really fucking weird graphic shit in Outlast 1 that I was like, they put that in this?
for sure.
That's wild.
Yeah.
I mean, right at the very beginning, you see the naked, skinned man hanging from a cross, I believe. And I was just shocked. I was like, okay, there's some gore. I was like, oh, there's a lot of gore. Oh, that's genitals. I can tell where his genitals are.
Yeah, when I played the first one, there's these two dudes who are like, they look like twins, but there's these big buff guys. They didn't wear clothes. Their dicks were out. They're just wandering around, and it made you feel like you're in a psych ward, like this weird asylum, because like there's just naked people.
And props on them for not being scared to do that kind of shit.
They were doing that
for
before.
sure.
A lot of people were doing shit.
Well,
like
that's I'm just saying that I have to give them a plus for that
100%.
actually.
That's one thing. Like I said, my appreciation for these games is up there, man. I really understand why people like it. It's just like we've already talked about quite a bit now at this point. The gameplay, man. I wish there was just a couple extra things. One thing too, though, I like is as a camera nerd, being able to use a camera as a mechanic, I think is most of the time unneeded. But once in a while when I pull it up, I'm like, this is kind of neat using night vision. They did the same thing in Blair Witch, which is a fucking garbage ass piece of shit game. But
Full playthrough on the channel.
Yeah, full playthrough on the channel. You can watch me play that. Never played again. But they tried to do something similar and they failed. But in this they do it, and it's neat and it makes sense, whatever. But it's funny too, just being a dork about it. I was like watching when you're using it, and when you're zoomed out all the way, it's at f2.8, and then when you zoom in, it goes up to like an f.8 stop or whatever. And I was like, why they didn't have to put that in there?
Yeah,
it's showing me the aperture of my camera as I zoom in. And I was like, they got some camera dorks in that dev team who's just like, make it accurate. That's a camera he's holding. So I was just looking, I was like, oh, it's funny. Yeah, so we talked about that way more than I thought we would. Anything else you guys want to say on it before we jump into recommendations?
No, not really.
All right, let's jump into recommendations. I'm going to make this easy for everybody. If you like horror games, definitely play it. If you particularly like, if you played Outlast, definitely play it as well. You'll definitely like this, and you probably already played it. But if you like any horror games, I think this is definitely a must to try. You might not agree with me on the gameplay aspect of it. The scares are there if you like jump scares. The atmosphere's there. The story's really cool. I don't know the whole thing, but from what I've seen, I am absolutely intrigued because it is pretty bold. Shit.
If you like adventure games, like you mentioned earlier, like Dear Esther and stuff like that, but you're
And
okay with horror.
Walking narrative games.
Yeah. It is a walking narrative game. So
if you like horror movies,
yeah,
this is pretty much a horror movie, except for you're pressing forward on the controller.
And alongside that, obviously, if you like the dark imagery, the game's full of it.
I feel like stuff that has to do with the devil and hell.
Yeah. Anything to add to that, Chris? I'm drawing blanks on this because it is a horror game.
I feel like nudity. Yeah. I feel like nudity. This game was made for you.
Well, yeah, sure.
That's what this game's about, right? You like nudity? That's what this game was made for.
If you're tired of games that make you feel like a super god and you want to feel like a worthless peon worm,
oh, sure.
If you're the CEO of a $1 billion corporation, every once in a while you like someone to just show you what's up and tie you down and do some weird shit to you, and you feel powerless. This game's meant for you.
I would say I actually do hate when I feel overly powerful in games. So
yeah,
Quantum Break. I was playing that game. And I was like, this is a fun game to play, but I'm literally God. Everybody shoots at me. It's like stop time.
It's a big problem I have with a lot of anime too. I'm like, you're God.
Oh, you too? Yeah. Me too. That's why I stopped. That's why I got out of the fucking game.
There's a lot of good ones.
I used to be into that shit.
A lot of them are definitely trying to like. My character is invincible. I'm like, yeah, okay.
Oh, look, he's so weak. Wait, he just got awoken. Now he's the most powerful ever.
No one can scratch him. Yeah, drives me crazy. Anyways, yeah, horror game, imagery, adventure games.
I thought it'd have a lot more to say on it, but this game's not for certain people. If you don't like horror games, you're not going to like this game. If you don't like dark games, you're not going to like this game. If you want to play a game where you're like jumping around, shooting people and shit, or like, fighting people with weapons, or platforming, or racing, or whatever the fuck, it's this.
Not for
you're not getting this. This is literally just a straight up horror game made to be scary, and that's exactly what they do.
Yeah. Great.
Anything else?
No.
I'm going to grade it a B, a strong B. I'm going pretty high. I was going to give it a little bit lower, but I think they do everything really well in this game. I just don't enjoy playing it. But outside of that, it looks great. It sounds great. The voice acting's good. The story's good. The lighting's good. The scares can be good, just not for me. But like every once in a while, I'm like, that was pretty creative. That's pretty cool. I like that. And the overall philosophy of the game is pretty cool. I like the idea of you being helpless and trying to hide and evade stuff. They just could nail it a little better with the gameplay, make it a little more interesting. I don't know how to do that because I'm not a game dev, but I gave some ideas out there. And B. I think it's definitely better than a lot of the indie horror games that have come out. I think it's one of the best, and I think it's way better than Blair Witch, which I would give an F.
So I wanted to give this game a C+. But after having a discussion and realizing how much quality is in the game, minus the aspects that we've mentioned multiple times at this point, I'm going to give it a B-. I think it deserves at least that. So
yeah, I think it just excels a little over a lot of other horror games.
Yeah.
Just room for improvement. Chris?
I'm also going to give it a B plus, but it's carried very heavily by the atmosphere the game
Who
creates.
gave it a B plus?
What?
Who gave it a B
He
plus?
did.
I mean a
mine.
B minus. I'm just delirious. Excuse me.
That's fine. I was like, wait, did I say B plus?
A B minus.
I'm not
B
giving it
minus.
a B plus.
The atmosphere the game creates really carries heavily the lack of super interactive gameplay.
Yeah. All right, so 2 B minuses and a B. Fitting, considering I probably played this a little bit more, so I was able to. Well, I mean, you watched it, but yeah. All right, let us know in the comments what you guys think of Outlast 2. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Did you not play it? Do you want to play it? Are you never going to touch this shit? Did you play Outlast 1? How do you think it compares? What do you think they could add to Outlast 2 to make it better? And yeah, let me know your general thoughts on Outlast 2 and what you would grade it in the comments below. The second game we played this month is Nioh, which is a Souls-like third-person action game based in Japan. So you got a lot of samurai and ninja aesthetic, which is always welcome. You have multiple weapons in this game. You go from level to level fighting enemies that are designed to be challenging and want to kill you, very much like Dark Souls. And there is, bonfire-like checkpoints like Dark Souls. It's a Soulsborne
There's
style game.
Kodamas.
There's Kodamas, which are fucking sick as fuck. I love them. As soon as I loaded in the game and I looked over at them, they're all just like fucking partying and dancing at the house and shit. I was like, all right, yeah, I forgot about this shit. It's been a while. And yeah, you fight stuff. There's multiple stances per each weapon that have different attack moves, customizable combos, different armors, loot that drops, which is cool, randomized, leveling, multiplayer, that's easy to do, and yeah, that's Nioh. There's a second one coming out soon. We all played it,
Yeah.
and I'll have Sherry start this time.
All right. Well, what's another game this month that is not my cup of tea usually. As much as I appreciate most of the Soulsborne style games,
So good.
I can't play them. But I do want to give Nioh some credit because once I stopped looking at it as a Soulsborne game and I looked at it as a multiplayer looting game, I was able to enjoy myself.
Yep.
So, honestly, I love the aesthetic. And it's gonna be no surprise for anyone who's been here a while, but like all you have to do is throw samurais in a game and I'm fucking sold. So
Shout out to Ghost of Tsushima. Can't wait to play it.
yeah, that looks amazing.
Yeah.
I say my main in 14 is a samurai. I love samurais. So being able to be one, fighting Oni and collecting Kodamas is just a very interesting situation to be able to
Quick
be in.
recommendation: if you like Japanese stuff a lot and you like just Japanese shit a lot and samurais and all that stuff, you should play this game.
So, yeah.
It's just that's all it is.
Yeah.
It's just cool ass Japanese stuff.
Yeah, and the combat is really interesting. It's not like Dark Souls in the regard where like it's overly like super intentional. It's more because it is a this is Team Ninja, right?
Yeah.
It's a Team Ninja
Yeah.
game. It's more like actiony. So you have this more
It's Ninja Gaiden
Yeah.
meets Dark Souls.
yeah, and you
Yeah.
kind of brought it up earlier. It has combo system. I didn't get to delve into that too much, but you do get to unlock moves to get better at certain types of weapons. You also get affinity towards those weapons, so you become better with them and stuff like that. So it has really cool systems in that regard. But the big selling point for me was that the multiplayer was really easy, and there is loot to be had. So even if you don't want that challenge, you can just kind of go through, slaughter things, and collect loot, which I could do all day mindlessly. So
This game also, because you unlock skills and stuff, if you grind enough, the game will become easier, like
sure.
any RPG.
yeah, and obviously the levels go on. I'm assuming definitely because you were over 100 when we played together. So
Yeah, I'm 100 something.
yeah, so I assume it probably goes like 999 or something like that.
Yeah.
Which if you're really into the game allows a lot of playtime for you. But I think Dark Souls does the same thing. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the only complaint I have is the menu system is a little confusing in multiplayer at first until you kind of learn where things are. They could streamline that a lot, I think, and hopefully they do in the second game. But other than that, like just picking a mission and even like being able to, I think you can make them harder to get better rewards and stuff like that too.
Yeah, for sure.
It has a really good system to play with people. I would be cool if they would make a harder version and allow you to have more than 2 people multiplayer. But other than that, I think they have a really good foundation for something that isn't really done heavily in the genre. You can do multiplayer in Souls games, but it's usually more of a chore. And you drop out after a mission. In this, you play together, and it kind of does a countdown timer till the next mission starts. So you have time to do your prep, sell your stuff, blah blah, whatever. Ready up, go, and you just keep playing. Yeah, I really enjoy it for that aspect. Though I could never play this game by myself. I would need someone to be like, I'm playing, and then I'd be, oh cool, yeah, I'll play with you. But yeah, I won't play this by myself at all. So
it's just funny because this game's not even like Dark Souls in the sense of it. I mean, I don't think Dark Souls is scary either, but there is things that like pop out every once in a while. This game's like really bright and almost cartoony.
It's the stress
looking.
aspect for me. I don't like the fact that you die, you lose all your shit, you die again. It's actually gone. I hate that. So
yeah, I mean that's a defining factor of these kind of games.
Yeah. So
yeah. Anything else you want to add to that?
no, I'll hop in if something sparks. So what you guys talking? So
Like I said before, I bought and played this when it came out and played the shit out of it. I did a review. It's one of the only reviews we have on the channel. There's like 10 of them, but as one of the games I played, I was like, I got to review this, and I think I gave it an A- in that review, so gave it pretty high praise. And playing it again, first off, hopping back into it, I haven't played it in a while, so like I hopped in and I was like looking around, I was like, I don't remember where I am, and then I walked ahead a little bit, and all of a sudden there's a boss, and I was like, ah shit, and I'm just like dodging around trying to remember how to play the game. I'm like, how do I switch stances? I'm like trying to figure everything out. I had him like half dead, and then he killed me. I'm like, it's fine. I need to fucking know what I'm doing, and so I went back and found the guy who takes you to the world map. And I'm like, okay, now I know where I'm at, what I'm doing. And after a little bit of fucking remembering how to play the game, pretty much everything I already know about this game, still very much my opinion. The game's fantastic. I think out of any of when people are like, oh, this game's just copying that game, that's kind of how things are born. Wolfenstein came out, and now we have first-person shooters. We can go to the origin of any genre and find the beginning one and where they all came from. And the only thing that Dark Souls did to define itself as a genre, essentially, is it took third-person action games, made them more difficult, made death a gameplay mechanic, and gave you a checkpoint system and death system where you lose shit and you can get it back. And
punishments.
Gameplay to the punishment.
Yeah.
The game's not necessarily punishing you, because any other game you might just die and be done with it. This, it's like you can get it back, fight for it.
Yeah.
There's a whole system to death, and that's what makes Dark Souls different outside of obviously its aesthetic things and music and all that shit. And after that, obviously, we got a bunch of games that followed that system, and some a lot closer, Lords of the Fallen, than other games. And I think Nioh is the absolute best example of a game that took certain systems of Dark Souls and went, but we also have a pedigree in making games like this. We were doing it before Dark Souls. We made Ninja Gaiden, and when that game came out, we were like, this game's too hard. And they're like, oh, okay, we're going to make a harder version for you now. So Team Ninja is not new to this. And so when I play this game, this is a fast, high-octane, combo-heavy action game that has Dark Souls systems in it. And it's a really cool fucking mix. And it does not feel like Dark Souls, but it definitely pays tribute to Dark Souls. And so Nioh's like, I really hold it in high regard, because it is the first in that genre after Dark Souls to go, good idea, we're making our own game though. And it does it really fucking well. I think Nioh's a fantastic game. I think it plays awesome. I think it looks awesome. There was a game when I was playing it that I could not fucking put down. Playing it again this month, the exact same thing. Like, it just all came back to me. I'm like, I forgot how much I fucking love this game. Playing it this month too, I was like, I can't wait for Nioh 2. I haven't been hyped on it. So I'm like, it's gonna be fine. I'm gonna like it.
That's character customization too, though, doesn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah. So that's a plus.
Nioh 2 is something I'm scared of though, because I like Nioh so much that I hope it's as good or better, because if it's worse, I'm going to be upset, because they did such a good job. Obviously, William is like a very whatever character.
I've been pretty whatever about the whole story, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, even in my fucking review, I was talking about how, like, and I still obviously feel this way, but like, the story is pretty meh, but at least they have like cutscenes and stuff to try and tell you the story. I mean, they did try. I'm hoping Nioh 2 can just exceed in what Nioh did. Because Nioh, I think, is a really good game that does everything great. But, just make a better story. I think it's a prequel. They changed something in it, though, and I forgot what it was. There's the Pokemon in this one that you collect.
All the spirits.
Yeah, which I think is a really cool system. I loved collecting them.
you absorb enemies' attacks. Like you absorb like the Oni's like spirits to make like special attack combos.
Which kind of reminds me of that game Folklore back in the day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
God, I wish you'd make another one of those.
Fucking A, where's that at? Folklore was dope as shit. That was such a cool idea. I love the idea of capturing these monsters and using them as your attacks. Really cool. But yeah, I didn't get a chance to play multiplayer. I'm glad you guys got to though. And you guys can talk about that a bit more or whatever. But yeah, the game's awesome. I love it. I've played it so much though that when I came back, I replayed a lot of the levels, kind of went through and kind of confirmed all my thoughts on it still. But really, I'm just ready for Nioh 2.
It's Borderlands 2 for you.
Yeah, 100%.
You played it.
100%.
Yeah.
And I really liked Borderlands 3, so, I probably will like Nioh 2. But Nioh 2 will be a first day buy for me, 100%. I really, really like Nioh a lot. In fact, playing it again just reaffirmed that it is as good as I tell people it is. It's been a while, and I came back, and I'm like, maybe maybe it hasn't aged very well or something like that. And I start playing, I'm like, fuck no, dude, this game's still awesome. This game's sick as shit. I can't wait for fucking 2. Like, I need more of this, so.
Kind of off topic. Is Code Vein multiplayer?
I don't think so. Because I think I was talking with someone about that, and I was like, you have an NPC player with you, and you can't have 2 people? Why couldn't you just replace them or have them at least play that?
Yeah.
Let us know in the comments if you know the answer to that. We can look it up as well. But if you're watching this right now and you're like, I know the fucking answer, just put it in the comment.
Yeah. No, I'm curious.
You should know this.
There's a lot of games, man.
Code Vein, Code Vein I played at E3, and it was literally what I thought it'd be. Not good or bad, just like, okay, that's exact. It's Dark
mostly
Souls.
positive stuff online about it, so.
Yeah. It's just
no one's screaming about it,
Yeah.
though. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just all those games at this point, unless you're doing something different, like vastly different. There's other games out that I'm gonna play first.
Yeah, the only thing I saw was like it's guess the character creator's like really good, but
It is. Yeah.
sorry, went off
it's
tangent.
crazy,
I
yeah.
popped in my head when we were talking about the multiplayer aspect. I was like, does that one have multiplayer? So,
Yeah. I mean, it's just exactly what you think it's going to be, though.
Yeah.
So if that sounds cool in your head, you're like, oh, I think it's going to be this, and that sounds cool, buy it, because that's what it is.
Well, I mean, it's a Souls game, so I probably won't. But
It's anime, though. It's bright as fuck. It looks like an anime.
yeah,
Yeah. But anyway, Neo's awesome. Love everything about it. And yeah, Chris, what are your thoughts, Chris?
This is a game I absolutely adore. It's completely up my alley. My first character has like 90 hours on it. I decided to, for this playthrough, make a new character, start fresh, go a completely different route. Because my first character was really heavy ninjutsu and used a Kusuragami throughout most of the gameplay. This time I went more of like an Onmyo, like magic caster build, and used a katana, which is it's really fun that just there's so many different ways you can play this, and just even like one weapon has like all the different playstyles you can enjoy. There's low stance, which is for faster, more dodging. There's mid stance, which is pretty even attack speed, but it's really focused on like parries and blocking. And there's high stance, which is just like brute force, like I'm gonna kill you now, but slow animations. And it's great because all weapons have those stances and can adjust to any kind of playstyle that you enjoy.
On that note, what weapon is your favorite, both of you?
katana.
I guess so far katana because it's so well rounded, but I want to try all the DLC weapons.
My favorite is I don't know what they call it in that, I forgot, but the pole arm.
The sphere.
The
Yeah.
sphere, yeah. That shit's my favorite.
I tried it.
I just run and gun with that shit. Run through fucking just fucking murdering shit.
Yeah, I have one on my back as my secondary weapon. So
That's the way to go.
I do like the musket though.
Yeah.
The hand cannon's fun, but it's super slow. But like when we were playing multiplayer, Crispy fighting, all of a sudden this little flame arrow would come flying. I'm like, you motherfucker.
When you said crispy fighting, I thought you said crispy. I was like, I don't know what that is. Crispy fighting. I was like, that sounds good. That sounds like a good thing.
So yeah, I don't know. I think it's kind of interesting that you can have 4 weapons on you though in that game. Because I would,
because it's a fucking fast-paced action game.
Yeah, I would just shoot people in the head and stun them while Chris was fighting them. And all of a sudden he'd be like, okay. So, yeah.
There's also like it's an interesting take on historical events of Japan. It takes place in the 1600s. He plays this guy named William, who in the game is Irish, but historically was an Englishman. And it's set right after Nobunaga Oda dies in Hanoji Temple, and it takes the events all that lead up to the Battle of Sekigahara between Ieyasu Tokugawa and Mitsunari Ishida. Yeah, I've played a lot of these types of games before, if you can't tell. But it's a really interesting, like, more fantasy-heavy, spiritual-based gameplay.
I mean, yeah, there's spirits and shit, so it's definitely not accurate.
Yeah, it's fun though. It's so much fun. Just so many different ways to play. Like Dark Souls, you can have like the different weapon types. You can have like swords, but all like the one-handed swords play really similar. They might have some have special moves, but in this one, like just because all the different stances and the way you can customize how the moves work, it's just so much variety. There's so many different ways to play this game. It's great.
Yeah, I mean that's one thing I love about it too. Is just the it's not a shitload of weapons, but there's a lot of weapons within that type, and then there's the different stances and stuff, which you do. The game definitely wants you to be switching stances as you're fighting. I've watched some people who just don't do it, and that's fine. You don't have to, but you get to a point where you start getting comfortable and you start going like, I'm going to go from this stance to this stance once I've done this and that, and that's why I always emphasize that. Like in Dark Souls is about essentially surviving encounters, and eventually you feel badass when you just take people down easily. But the gameplay is still block, dodge, roll, strike when you can, stuff like that. And you're conquering your this battle that you're fighting. You're fighting a fucking monster, and this is something that no one should be able to do, but you did it and you killed him. Whereas in Nioh, you're just like having this fast-paced, badass fight where people are swinging and fucking dodging and shit, and you're doing the same thing. Like when I was playing this month, fucking I ran in a room and some ninjas showed up, and as soon as they showed up, they're just like running at me, and I'm like dodging and swinging. They're fucking like back flipping and shit, and I'm swinging at them and shit. And I was like, yeah, this is fucking Team Ninja, man. Like this is not a Dark Souls.
When
game.
you get a lot of that too, when you go to the, I can't remember, the Revenants, is that what they are, with the red spots on the ground where people have died?
Yeah.
And you can
which I think is a really cool system.
It is. It's actually where I got all my best gear so far.
It's a great way to grind for gear.
Yeah. So Chris would just run up and spawn them, and then we would just like. And they're surprisingly good at being able to even fight two people sometimes. Because I try to flank them, and they'd literally go block, turn up, block, 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 block. I was like, Jesus Christ, just take a hit. So,
you guys make fighting games.
Yeah. So,
and even though I was like much higher level than Chevy, I never felt like completely overpowered. Like enemies still took.
I think the game has a scaling system.
A decent amount of combat to take them down.
It's like they scaled to whoever was attacking them. It was really interesting because he couldn't just melt them.
Oh,
yeah. So
I didn't know that. Yeah, he's telling me about you guys playing, and it sounded like you were just like sitting back and then murdering shit for him if you needed it. But I was like,
he was
kind of lame.
Definitely more comfortable with the combat system.
Sure,
yeah,
for sure. So, but it's good. It's good to hear that the enemies weren't just like if you're playing an MMO and he's just like.
No, he just would know like a boss was coming up, and I could tell he was like, "You got to try it before because he already knows it." So he's like, "Hey, go fight that real quick." I'm like, "I don't want to."
I don't want to.
Go get it! Come on.
Oh yeah, I don't know. It's got a lot of neat things. I just wish I had a bigger interest in playing it myself. So
it's really good.
Yeah. But yeah, if you guys ever want to play multiplayer, just let me know because I would hop.
Does it only have the two?
I'm pretty sure. I'm not.
It's not Dark Souls. You can have fucking all sorts of weird numbers.
Yeah, but that also includes like you can have like two people on your team, and like 1 to 2 people can invade you at the same time, and it gets weird.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Anything else you guys want to say on it?
It does have a PvP mode.
It does.
Yeah.
For those people who look for those encounters.
Yeah, it's just separate, I believe.
I never did it myself, but yeah, it's a separate thing. They don't invade you.
Which I prefer.
I appreciate that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I think the aspect of Dark Souls having invasions is a neat idea, but I wish there were servers for that. Because it does get annoying, especially sometimes it seems like it's happening a lot. And I'm like, I'm just trying to play this fucking game.
There are areas that they intentionally like ramp that up.
Yeah.
In Dark Souls.
Yeah. And I'm just like, God, come on, dude. I just want to fucking. And sometimes I kill them, sometimes they kill me. And I'm just like, I'm not having fun either way, dude. I just want to fucking progress in this game that's already challenging. And then I got some asshole fucking showing up who's just trying to troll me, essentially. Like, hey, I'm gonna fuck with
lives in the game, and that's the only enjoyment they find.
A bunch of people do that shit. Yeah. And I'm like, I don't know. Fucking every person. If you like doing that, there should just be a place to do that
for you guys.
Like, yeah. And if you like the idea of getting invaded, go play there. Let me play over here where I can just fucking play the game and not have to worry about some guy who intentionally is fucking trying to find people like me to try and fucking stop me from enjoying the game.
Yeah.
Sniping you from across the room and throwing those orbs that go, very good. Hello. Hate those things.
I am not familiar and I hate them too. That sounds awful.
It's the only way you can reliably communicate in game. They're just like these little rocks that you throw on the ground that just have like weird pre-recorded messages.
Why do I not know about that?
It's like, I'm sorry. Very good. Like, this is really weird. Yeah.
I hate that. All right, let's jump into recommendations.
Okay.
Unless there's more you guys want to talk about.
No.
I'm going to say if you like third-person action games in general, I'm not just going to go the Dark Souls route, but if you have played Dark Souls or Dark Souls-like games, if you like this kind of games and you didn't play Nioh for some reason, this is the best one, so you should play it. But if you like third-person action games in general, I think you should play it. If you're worried about Dark Souls-type games, play it anyway, because I think it is more a Ninja Gaiden-style game than it is a Dark Souls game. I think it definitely is inspired by Dark Souls. They saw Dark Souls and went, those are some cool ideas. We've also made games like that before. We're going to make another game like ours, but take some of your ideas. And I think that's what Nioh is. If you like Japanese stuff, if you like anime, if you like samurai stuff, ninja stuff, Oni, the idea of that.
History stuff.
Any of that stuff. This is a very Japanese game, and it's really cool. It's just so like... It's not light on it at all. It's just heavy Japanese stuff. It's really fucking cool if you're into that kind of thing. For the aesthetic alone, I think it's worth playing if you're into that kind of thing. If you're not into that, you're not going to be at home in this game. Unless you just really like William or something. I don't know. But there's not much to like there. He's a very boring character. That's why I like... At first, I'm like, man, I don't really need like a fucking custom character. But I was like, William didn't matter really as a character. So I guess I'll it's better if I get to make my own.
Yeah.
And yeah, if you like fighting games, Team Ninja builds their action games a lot like they do their fighting games. They're really fast paced. There's a lot of like, combos and counters and all sorts of shit. So if you're familiar with like DOA or whatever and played those, every fight feels like a fight. It's cool. It's less about like that one move's gonna smash you and kill you. It's more like, oh fuck, this guy's...
Except for it can.
It can, yeah, for sure, it can. But a lot of times though, like it's just, if you get pretty good at the game, it feels more like a fight. You're fighting like a dude, and they're like hitting you, hit them, and fucking you learn their move and block and shit. And it's just really fast paced stuff. I really like the way the game feels. It's very unique in that, and when it comes to this genre. Yeah. Anything else you guys want to add?
Loot. If you like,
Yeah.
if you like, Diablo-esque games,
Which is
or
huge
Borderlands
for a
or
game like
whatever, for the sake of like grinding out some loot, game has it, and it does scale to level, so you can constantly be looking for something. Even if it has the same name, the stats can be different. So that is kind of a big one for me. Half the time when me and Chris were playing, we're literally just killing revenants, just getting me some gear. So.
Which is something I didn't mention when I was talking about my impressions of the game, but that is one of the reasons why I played Nioh so much when it came out, is because there's a grinding factor to it that games like this don't have.
It incentivizes it too in the multiplayer, because like you're picking missions and modifiers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And, there's also like a challenge mode that has even better stuff. And if you don't have like necessarily like a friend to play with, there's these cups you can get that you get off of mostly revenants, but they're in the game as well. You just burn one at a shrine, and it'll invite people in your game to help you. So
you entice them with a cup of juice.
Pretty much.
You
The Kodamas
want-
do
you want it?
If you give it to the Kodamas, you're like, find me a friend. They're like, I would love to. And they just,
Those Kodamas are always partying, dude. They're all down for the social hangouts.
and collectibles as well, because Kodamas are hiding all over the place too. And the more of them you have, you can get buffs. So if you're into that kind
Which
of
is really
stuff,
cool. Yeah.
that's another gameplay mechanic. If it sounds interesting to you, this is probably a good game for you as well. There's
The game's sick. Just listen to us. It's fucking dope. Just play it. It's awesome.
If you're looking for something with a lot of replay value,
100%.
this has a ton of it, because not only do you go back and do like side missions the same levels, you start off in different areas, the enemies are different, the atmosphere is different, the layout is different every time you go back to a different mission.
I don't think
and they have even harder missions called Twilight missions. So
Yep.
there's so much replay value to this.
God, and there's some missions too where you gotta fight like two of the hardest bosses in the game at once.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, fuck you.
Right.
I hate that guy. It's like fight him and his buddy. I'm like, I hated him too. At the same time.
Yeah.
And the other thing I was going to bring up real quick that I think we all kind of forgot to mention is the enemy types vary from like people to demons. And the demons do this weird cloud thing on the ground that you can, if you leave it there, they're stronger, I believe.
Yeah.
And you can't regen or something like that, but you can dispel it and then
Yokai
increase your stamina.
Yeah, there's a
regen.
lot of really cool
So,
systems to the game. That's why I really stress how different this game is. It's its own game, 100%.
But yeah. Just want to throw
I
that out
can't
there.
wait for Neo 2. Can't wait for it.
I should probably just sit down and play the multiplayer through and just like try to beat the game at least. So.
Should. It's an awesome game. It's really fun. It was a game I was like grinding. I was like playing
I
missions
remember.
over and over again. Fucking
You weren't playing anything else at the time, so
yeah, it was awesome. So, any other recommendations?
I feel like
Chris,
Ninja
anything?
Gaiden.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If you like Team Ninja games,
Team
this
Ninja
is a
in
Team
general.
Ninja
Yeah.
game.
it's definitely them.
And it's so nice because for a while there, they were just kind of gone. And so when this game came out, I was
Road
like,
microtransactions off Dead or Alive 5 for a while.
yeah, which is stupid. But I guess it worked for them because when they came back, their games, I like DOA 6. I like fucking Neo. I'm sure Neo 2 will be great. Where's Ninja Gaiden at?
That director is no longer there, so that could be part of it.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, game's dope. Let's jump into grades. I went first last time, right? Yeah, because I just gave it a
Yes.
straight up B. So
Yeah.
we'll start with Chris this time.
Good timing. Good timing.
I can't talk right now.
I'm going to give this game a solid A. I love it so much. I mean, I streamed it for 9 hours every day for like 4-5 days a week for like 2 weeks.
You should do that more often.
I should, and I will.
9 hours is a long stream. I do like a 7 to 9 hour one. And I'm just like, oh fuck.
Well, I'm not saying he should do 9-hour streams all the time, but like he should, just like I should, be a little more active.
It should be the Truman Show. Just keep your stream going 24/7.
Oh, no, thank you.
Only if they're tipping, baby.
Tipping, baby. Baby stays on for tips.
This game is just so much up my alley with the style of the game and the gameplay itself, and just, you know, it's Japan. It's everything I love about Japan. I love the history of it. The weird, fun, spiritual aspects they add to it is great. It's just such a fun, amazing game with so much replay to me. I want to play it over. I want to play it right now.
Yeah, I have the same urge talking about it. I'm like, that's a good game. I'd like to play that right now.
So yeah, a solid A for me.
Chevy.
So we've said nothing but like these great things about this game, obviously, and so for me, the only thing that is missing is like that hook, right?
He's about to drop how much he hates it.
No, I just
Saved it for last.
it's missing that hook for me to want me to like get in there and just stay in the game and want to play it all the time. So like I can't go in the A territory, but I do have a lot of appreciation, and I'm a sucker for the very Japanese nature of it, obviously. So I'm gonna go B plus. I do think it's a great game. I want to play it though. You know what I mean? Like so. I can't give it an A.
Just stick with it, and it'll eventually hook you. It's really good. The more you unlock in that game, the more interesting it gets. So
Yeah.
it's one of those games that, like, Japanese game, the more you play it, the
More stuff you
the
get,
more
yeah.
stuff. Yeah, it's not about unlocking the new gun and getting to the next level and getting the new perk. It's about mechanics as you go through. So B plus, A minus, or not A minus, A.
A, yeah.
As revealed, I'm going with A minus still. That was my original review score. I'm gonna stay with A minus. Yeah, I would invite you guys to watch that review as well. It came out a while ago, but I listened to it and I pretty much agree with everything I said then. Still, everything about this game is stellar, awesome, fantastic. I love it. It's really fun to play. It's really fun to grind in and get loot. Looks great. There's a shitload of content. It's not a small game. It's just a really fucking good game. The reason I go A minus, and A minus is high. The reason I go A minus is because the story could be better. That's
100%.
it. If the story was awesome, I would probably give it an A plus. I think this game is fucking awesome in every fucking regard. The storyline, and I gave them extra points for even having cinematics, because in a game like this, a lot of times they don't have shit like that. They're just like, you got to read about the lore. And this, it has full-on cinematics. It has boss fights that are big spectacles and stuff. Really cool shit. But, you know, I never was, like, interested in the story outside of, like, oh, this is neat. It's like a reinterpretation of historical stuff in Japan that I've heard a million times. But fucking, there's no hook in that regard for me. Nothing in the story was like, oh, I can't believe that happened. And William's not a compelling character. He's fine. He's just whatever. He's not bad or good. He's just who you play. And yeah, it just a lot of stuff was neat to see, but never was I playing going like, oh, I can't believe that happened, or oh, what's gonna happen next. So, and because of that, I give it an A- because outside of that, it's fantastic. It's a great game. So easy A-. Want to give it an A+, but didn't make me cry like Death Stranding. Anything else?
No.
All right, let us know in the comments what do you guys think about Nioh. Did you play it? Did you not play it? How much do you like it? How much do you not like it? Tell me the same gauge. Be like, I love it so much, and someone else look at that comment and go, I fucking hate it this much. I give it a negative A+. And yeah, are you excited for Nioh 2? Do you not want to play this game? Did you not play it for any reason? And do you like Team Ninja games in general? Or are you more of a Dark Souls guy? Let us know everything you're thinking about, plus a grade in the comments below. But that's going to do for this episode of Plus Club on Taste of the Game. As always, thank you for watching. And thank you for voting for Game of the Month for 2 months, guys. Really appreciate that. We'll be talking about that tomorrow. And yeah. Plus Club on Taste of the Gaming. As always, thank you for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoy this episode. Make sure to check out our other episodes. Check us out on Tumblr, Twitter, and Facebook at Taste of the Gaming. Check out all of our streams. Links down below. I'm on Twixer, Mixer, Twixer, and YouTuber. Links down below. They're on. Chris is on Twitch, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Chevy's on
Mixer.
Twixer. Twizzlers. And yeah, we got a Discord link down below. You can talk to us anytime, all the time. We're on iTunes, Spotify, and other podcast platforms if you prefer to listen to us. And yeah, my name's Seth.
I'm Chevy.
And I'm Chris.
Until next episode, which will be Game of the Month, where we will be talking about Lost Planet 2 and revealing the Game of the Month that you guys picked. Until then, have a good night, guys, and take it easy.